Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new unit in depth, almost finishing with the Chaos Space Marine Codex. This has been a series that I've been talking for a while, and where I go through one of the units in the Codex that I normally play with, and I explain what I think are first the description, and then how I think it's the best way to use them or how I use them. Then I ask for opinion also to you, so you can also leave the comments below. This time I'm going to talk about the Chaos Vindicator. This is it's very similar to the Space Marine Vindicators. It's costing 120 points and we have Ballistic Skill 4, uh, Front Armor 13, Side Armor 11, Rear Armor 10, 3 hull points, is Vehicle Tank, it's equipped with a demolisher cannon, have a searchlight, have smoke launchers, and you can take the siege shield for 10 points, and also can take items from the vehicle equipment. So, first of all, the demolisher cannon has a very short range. So this is a tank that wants to be medium to short range with the enemy. What gives you a second problem is that normally the tanks in that range are very vulnerable to melta weapons. So normally, my experience is a tank that is very strong in shooting, have a very good shootability, what makes him quite appealing, especially this weapon of strength 9 AP2. But on the other side, you have to be careful. Don't expect that he will survive the full battle. Most likely, the enemy cannot um, allow that the tank is surviving the full battle and will try to kill it. So I will say take into plan for one or two shots and then the tank will be shot down unless the enemy really don't pay attention and is a big battle and the enemy have to pay attention to other targets. You can try to protect him, putting infantry around, putting going with other units to avoid that he's an easy target. Uh, you can put even cultists around it, but at the end, if the enemy wants to kill the tank, today is not it's not difficult to kill a tank, even with armor 13 in the front, as he have to use the demolisher cannon in short range. Most likely, the side armor will be very easily exposed to attacks from other sides of the from the battlefield. So for this reason, I will not pay upgrades. The only that can make sense is the siege shield, 10 points, but then you don't have to take dangerous terrain. I think mobility is key on the Vindicator, especially with this short range. You want him to go into the place and being and having the cannon just on the front hull. Yeah, you don't want if it gets immobilized, it's very easy that it gets at the same time neutralized somewhere. So yeah, this is the point. So it's really a tank to go in short range to the enemy and try to blast this elite unit. The drawback is if the enemy have invisibility, if the enemy is in terrain, the efficiency of this blast is going to start decreasing more and more, especially if the enemy can be in a cover of 4 plus, means that the effectiveness is reduced by to 50%, so making him that not much scary anymore. So yeah, this is the point. Uh, Here you see that I put the missile launcher. Normally, I put it because I wanted as a decoration, but I will say that uh, Vindicator tank, um, not really. Yeah, it's a tank for short range. Not much to say. You want to keep him in short range. Try to avoid the melt as much as possible, but as you have to be within 24 inches, this is going to be almost impossible to avoid. It's going to get exposed. It easily will be exposed to be assault in close combat, so don't expect him to survive the full battle. Just a tank that can deliver one or two blasts, and after that, most likely it will be over. So use, I will say use him as an alpha strike distraction unit. So a unit that needs to draw shooting from the enemy and can give time to other units to get in place and finalize the war that the Vindicator started. If the enemy is not going for the Vindicator, then the enemy have a problem because the Vindicator can keep shooting and blasting with the Vindicator cannon and keep doing damage. I will say just a little bit, if you want to put it a little bit, maybe you can put a combi weapon. Um, and in case you have a weapon destroyed, there is not the cannon automatically destroyed. But for me, I still thinking the best is 120 point basic tank and just use it as much as you can until it's destroyed and use him as a distraction unit. Can be also a front attack unit if goes together with other units that can deal in the close combat. So have a couple of functions. Can be a disruptive unit if you can put him in a position that demands that the enemy can have to counterattack. Can be also a good unit to give support fire in short range, and also can be a little bit of alpha strike as the shooting is quite strong. So that's all what I want to share about the Vindicator. Please let me know if you like this tank. I will say it's one of the most popular, and today is more popular than the cousin, the the Predator. So I will say that he's maybe today one of the most popular tanks from the Chaos Space Marines and even from the Space Marines. So that's all for now on this, and now let's go to the next unit. And the next unit we have is the Predator. It's tank made from the same chassis, so we say the Vindicator was the same chassis as the Predator. So let's see what we have on the Predator. It's costing 75 points, have ballistic skill 4, and the same armor as the Vindicator 13, 11, 10, 3 hull points, and is a vehicle tank. It's equipped with an autocannon, searchlight, and smoke launchers. You might take two sponsons. Are both armed with the following. You can take heavy bolters on the sides for 20 points, or you can take glass cannons for 40 points, and you can change the auto cannon by a tunneling glass cannon, and also can take equipment from the vehicle. So normally the Predator is the supporting tank by excellence. So it's a tank that have always been a supporting tank, is a shooting platform, and try to play in from the bottom of your from the bottom of your deployment. So it tried to survive being far, being out of range for the enemy weapons, and try to use the distance as its protection together with the front armor 13. If you play well the positioning together with the terrain and being in long range, it can survive and almost give some supporting fire the full battle. Can give supporting fire from the turn one because the range is quite good in all the weapons. What are the configurations, the most common configurations that we have? We have the cheap configuration that is autocannon with heavy bolters, 95 points, and it's going to be an anti-infantry tank. It's not going to be a massive shooting, but it's not bad. 6 shots of strength 5 AP4, and then 2 shots of strength 7 AP4. So it's going to be good against I will say medium to light infantry. Not that good against Space Marines or heavy infantry, and of course not do good against monsters or monstrous creatures. Because to be fair, strength 7 and 5 is not the way you want to go. But it's going to be a good supporting tank. The other option, and was very popular in the past and not that popular today, is equip full last cannon. So we will have twin last cannon on the turret and last cannons on the sponsons. This will cost you 140 points to have this equipment, and it's going to have the role of anti-vehicle. Uh, is not, I would say, is not as efficient. It will be good against light to medium vehicles, not that good against heavy vehicles, although can penetrate up to armor 14. But to be clear, with strength 9 to armor 14, you need 5 for glancing, and you need then 6s for penetrating hit, and it's AP2, so you don't have a lot of chances to kill in one shooting. In the past, this used to be in previous editions much easier to kill a vehicle, and you wanted always to penetrate and try to kill the vehicle from the distance with one shot. Today is not that easy to do it. So this is what I think. 140 points is not worth it today for a tank that have a long range supporting fire. Although if you want to use it, it's not bad neither. So it's something that is there, uh, but don't expect too much. It looks a lot. 3 shots of strength 9 can kill very easily light vehicles, rhinos, razorbacks, land speeders, anything that have armor 10, 11, 12, have to be careful against the predator, the twinling, and yeah, the how it's called this, the laser predator, the last cannon predator, annihilator was called normally in the Space Marines, the annihilator predator, but um, there are today some lists that are more effective. Again, Predator it's quite easy to kill if it's catching side or rear armor because it's just side armor 11 and 10 as a Vindicator, but I will say the chances of survivability are bigger than the Vindicator because the range is bigger. On the other side, it's more specialized. Vindicator with the blast of a strength 9 AP2 can try to go against vehicles or can try to go against a squadron of vehicles or can try to go against infantry. In the case of Predator, it depends on the build up. If you go with the last cannons, it's mainly focused to go against vehicles or monstrous creatures. If you use the combination of Bolter and uh, autocannon, then it's mainly to light infantry. If you use an hybrid, I will not recommend because then you can use an hybrid of autocannon and las cannons. This will go well against light vehicles. Again, I will not do twin las cannon and bolters on the sponsors because then or will have double roll but will not be good in any of the roles. So these are my way to use it. So I used to use a lot in the past the combination of autocannon and las cannons. It was quite good against light to medium vehicles, but then when I try to shoot heavy vehicles, so let's call it Lehman Russes, let's call it Land Riders, then of course the autocannon was useless. So and then you lose, yeah, you are not using the full potential of the tank. So I will say long range support specialized, and you need to decide at the beginning of the battle if you want cheap option anti-infantry or you want the expensive option anti-monsters, anti-vehicles. And that's all for these tanks, and with that we finish the review on the uh, Chaos Space Marine Codex. I hope you find these two units interesting to review. I wanted to make them together because at the end it's the same chassis with different options and it's good to compare. So here we had today the review of the Vindicator and the review of the Predator from the Chaos Space Marines. Uh, Again, these are all codex, so they cannot do squads as they do in the Space Marines. So far, each of one is using one slot, and I will think it's a quite a slot that is quite demand, and the best options normally in the Chaos Space Marines for heavy weapons are used to be split between the Vindicator and the Obliterators. I think these are the two options that are the most popular um, from the heavy support on the Chaos Space Marines. And that's all for now. I hope you find this interesting. Please let me know what do you think. Leave your comment below how you use these tanks. If you have liked it, share if you find this video interesting. And as usual, thanks a lot for your support. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.